Hello everybody, Kyle here. I'm going to review episode 5 of The Rings of Power. It aired yesterday. I actually saw it at midnight the other night because I was a bit busy yesterday seeing a Harry Potter marathon, so I didn't have time to watch it yesterday, so I decided to watch it at midnight. Um, I had I gotta say I enjoyed this episode. Last week I did not like the episode of Rings of Power. Episode 4 I thought was a bad episode. I thought that not much happened. It was very, very stagnant in Numenor. This is the type of show where I think they need to move from place to place quite quickly. They don't need to move, in one episode, but we're at a point in this show where they were in Numenor for 3 episodes of television. For a Lord of the Rings show, being stuck in Numenor or a place for 3 hours, that is too much for me. I don't think that they need to stick there for that long. I will say, though, that this episode finally gave us some interesting stuff revolving around Numenor, with them finally sailing out of Numenor. We got some more stuff with Elendil and Isildur that was way better than the stuff we were getting last episode, because I have to say that I am not a fan of this Erwin. I don't know how you pronounce her name, but Isildur's sister, Elendil's daughter. I don't know why she's in this show. I think they're trying to say that this is what they are fighting for. This is what the Numenorians are fighting for when they go into battle. But I don't know why she's in this show. I find that when she appears, she takes away from the story. She has this seeming romance with this other character that, one, doesn't feel like Tolkien, and two, just doesn't really work for me. And then it's a very strange character for them to put in this series. Not as strange as the character from Halo, which was Quan, I believe her name was. Boy, I'm getting Halo flashbacks now. I was so disappointed in Halo. Going back to Rings of Power. What else okay, so I love seeing the Harfoots return. They were sorely missing last week, and they really I feel like the show is most Tolkien when they are on screen, not just because they're like hobbits, but because there's a lot of elements of Tolkien in their storyline, especially with how they are treating, the stranger, who I think is Gandalf. But I really did love their storyline. I love the song that I think is called The Wandering Way, that Poppy sings. I thought it was a beautiful song. It was in the trailers. I was so glad they used it in the show. I really loved seeing the stranger use his powers. That we don't know what powers they are, but he used these powers against those wolves / wargs. I don't even know what those things are. I love seeing more of the dark elf and how he's kind of commanding this orc army. I thought that Galadriel had a great part in this episode, her training the other Numenorians. Got to see more of her physical capabilities. And what else? I would say that I'm curious about Halbrand. He had a little bit more of an interesting thing this week than compared to last week, where he was in a jail cell for the entirety of that episode. And yeah, it's starting to really, I think, move. The story is starting to really move along. There are those people that are tracking the stranger. I believe that is Saruman. Not just because he's in white, but I feel like wizards might know other wizards, so he might be tracking Gandalf. And yeah, I thought that there was a lot of fun stuff happening in this episode. Wasn't a lot of action. And I'm gonna go back. I think when this show ends, I'm gonna go back to that one interview that the showrunners gave, saying this show is going to have the most action of any TV series ever. Because right now it has had barely any action in it. it has had probably 2-3 action scenes, and they were quite short. So hopefully next week it really picks up, because next week seems to be the episode where they're charging down a field, and it looks to be more of like a war. I'm so happy they're out of Numenor, because I know a lot of fans out there want to see Numenor. They want to see what it is like before the downfall and all of this. But it's one thing to see Numenor. It's another thing to make it look an interesting place. And right now, I am not really that interested in Numenor. I think that they have kind of made it quite a drag and quite boring to watch. And the fact that they've been stuck there for 3 episodes, it's just frustrating. Because, like, if you look at the Harfoots, they're moving from place to place. Even Arondir, he was, captured, then he moved back. Like, when in Numenor, they're stuck in this place that they're not moving anywhere, and the story doesn't, for like nearly 3 hours, it does not feel like it's moving. So I'm glad that they're leaving, and I think this is the best episode of the show since the first 2. And we also got Elrond and Durin, and I love their relationship. They're so good together, and Elrond learned that he basically was kind of tricked into going to see Durin so he could find out about the Mithril. That stuff is all, I think, really interesting. So hopefully that plays a bit more into next week, and we get to see more of the Balrog and some other characters and creatures from Lord of the Rings. So let me know what you thought of this episode below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, guys. Bye.